Hey everyone, Zach and Jules here, and we're so excited to be back with you for season 2 of Life After Prison, The Sit Down.
But before we start, we really need your help. Life after prison is nothing without you guys.
All of you listening to us, wherever you are the most important part of Life After Prison, and we need to hear from you.
And we want to know exactly what you think of the show.
Life After Prison is funded by the National Lottery. And for us to be able to secure more funding, keep the project going, we need to be able to prove to the lottery that you, the Life After Prison community, are loving exactly what we do.
And that you want us to keep Life After Prison going forever.
Forever?
Forever, ever.
Forever, ever. So we've made a small feedback form. It's totally anonymous. We'd be so grateful if as many of you as possible could please complete the form.
It will take you about 3 minutes to complete, and it will help us out so much.
You can find the link to the form in the podcast description or our Instagram bio and on our website, lifeafterprisonpod.com.
Again, thank you so much and enjoy the episode.
Yeah. So if you guys had to sum up the friendships that you made in prison with one word, what would it be?
I would say it was impactful for me.
Impactful.
Real.
Emotional. It's been emotional.
It's been great, man.
Hello and welcome back to Life After Prison, The Sit Down. Normally with Zach and Jules. As you can see today, there's a bit of a gap on the sofa, but that's okay because today we're doing something different. Normally we're joined by, a single guest who shares their journey of life after prison. But today I've got my boys with me that I met on the inside and we've continued that friendship on the outside. And we're here to talk about how important those relationships are. So from my left to my right, we have Rony.
How you doing, guys?
You all right? And we got Nigel.
What's going on, people?
What's going on?
That's what's up, man.
How you boys doing?
Good, I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. How are you boys doing?
Well, I'm well, man. Like, it's
Yeah.
just fortunate that we're out here doing this
Come
stuff.
on.
Exactly, and I
It's
appreciate
a blessing to be
Exactly. It's a privilege that we're
fair. And,
here today to talk,
yeah.
right?
And we've stayed on our actual narratives of what we were trying to do and how we were trying to motivate each other to get out of the situation we was in.
Yeah. Talking of that, before we get into that, Ron, starting with you, tell us what you do and a bit about yourself.
So, ever since I came out, I used to be an estate agent, obviously, before I went inside.
Yeah.
Coming outside, obviously, I wanted to start my own construction business.
Yeah.
So coming out, obviously, me and you, we come out not too far from each other.
Yeah.
So we obviously spoke about it. I told you, we spoke about, what you want to do or supporting one another, what we want to do outside. So coming outside, so we started my company, our company, Complete Trust Contractors.
Yeah.
So yes, obviously it was.
And what is Complete Trust Contractors? What is that?
So it's a building. So we do that building construction, maintenance, normal day-to-day maintenance. We've got contracts with Airbnbs now, companies, estate agents, and now we're just focusing on like big projects now. So hopefully you guys will be seeing a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Nige?
Well, interestingly enough, I've been on an interesting journey because with my journey, I actually backslided, I would say. But currently now I'm doing photography, videography, trying to work with kids, mentoring, helping, just give back and just speaking to people, getting little enterprise schemes going on so we can better ourselves. And yeah, it's just a blessing. Like I've had ups and downs.
Yeah, as it happens.
Yeah, as it happens. But yeah, photography, videography, it's doing what I need it to do.
Yeah, we're going to see some more of that
Definitely
in the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing that we've all got in common is that we've actually spent time in High Point Prison, right?
Yeah.
And we all actually, we met each other in prison.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember how? Like,
Oh yeah, I can't forget that.
How did we meet then, Rod? Go on.
I mean, we met obviously on the was that the where did we meet again?
Go on. Holsey Bay.
Yeah,
We met in Holsey Bay, actually.
We met in Holsey Bay, yeah. At the mosque, I remember.
No.
No.
See?
No, we figured.
No. You're skipping, bitch. Just talk. Do you remember on the wing, yeah? When I think you was cutting your hair that time.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
So watch this, Nigel. Yeah? So I'm chilling, we're playing dominoes.
Yeah.
I've seen this guy pull up to, there's like a barber section. There's like a mirror bit where you can plug in your trimmers, and he's cutting his hair. I'm thinking, this guy's not going to cut his hair by himself. The man's doing a fade by himself. You see the fade he's got on now? He's doing that himself.
Yeah, that's
like
what's
that.
up, man.
By the end of it, I'm like, nah, how did the guy? So I thought, bro, let me chat to him.
Yeah.
Like, yo, brother, how'd you do that? Do
How did
you
you get
remember
a
what he
fade
said?
on point?
So I go, brother, how you do that fade? This guy looks at me like he's all suave, and he goes, I've been in jail for a long time, innit? Been doing this stuff. I'm like, yeah.
You don't know, the man's been doing this thing.
Been doing this thing. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
No, I love it.
How long were you cutting your own hair for?
Ever since I was in Pentonville. So when that's the first holding prison, obviously.
Yeah.
I went to. And I just thought, you know what, you know me, I like to, I like to do things. I like to learn. So I saw people, and there was a barber shop there. So I went in there. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it to the, because it's always packed. You can never go there.
Yeah.
But because I was one of the reps, as my job. So when I saw people cutting hair there, so I just observed, and then I just ordered my own machine. I started, but it wasn't a good start. But we got there.
But then look now, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, trust me.
Like for him to stand out and say, "Oh yeah, right," like you was doing something right at least.
So what about you, Nige? Do you remember when we met?
Wow, that is actually a funny circumstance.
Go on.
I remember we met on the walkway initially, going from we was going. Well, I had just moved onto the G wing.
Onto the wing, yeah.
Yeah. And then I think I spotted you, you spotted me, but we didn't actually acknowledge each other until I think one day, by accident, it's just circumstantial, that we just bumped each other, we started talking on the route to education.
Okay.
And then I think that's kind of,
I can't remember that,
how we stemmed a relationship. But then it was more so when I moved over to H, where I kept coming over there. And then that's
from H.
That's when you started to have more familiarity with me.
That's true.
And then obviously then it started to the board games.
Yeah.
And then that's when you really had to know me, because you know
he was dangerous. so when he's talking about board games, So watch this, Ron. Yeah, we built up like a, what's the word I'm looking for? It was like a few man that used to play Ludo, innit?
Yeah.
Because the game was a banging game, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like it gets competitive.
It's a definitely competitive pastime.
Trust me. This guy's always winning though. You know the man that can throw the dice and always get what they're asking for. So
Smashing
he's calling like, I need 6 or I need 8, and he's rolling and he's getting it. Dodgy. So I said, let me chat to this guy, find out how he's rolled. And then from there we kind of built up.
Literally.
So how many macros did you lose?
Nah, see.
Nah, but
see
we was
I didn't play
nicely. Because at this point, I can't lie to you. My thing was, and it's weird because I always know I'm good at games.
Okay.
I always know how to play people at their type of games.
Okay.
But it was a form of, that was just a good outlet of socializing for us.
True.
It was actually taking our minds off the situation that we was in, because it was a case of, I'm playing this game like I'm playing at Christmas time. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of feeling that we got from it. And it was a case of, like, then we have more interesting conversations. Then we start looking at what our ideas are, what exactly we was here for at that point there, and how we was going to better ourselves. Because although we was put in those situations, environments, that wasn't like the end all.
Yeah, it wasn't like defining, innit?
It wasn't defining at all. And literally, just with that, like when you meet somebody that you don't really know, simple things like just having a little socializing setting like that
brings the barriers, innit?
Yeah, it brings more of an understanding with people as well.
Talk about understanding as well. what is it about making friends or building relationships in prison that make it last longer on the outside? What is the factors that make those relationships strong?
I think it depends on those individuals. What do you say, Nigel?
I would say, to be fair,
What do you mean by individual? Like, it depends on.
I think it depends. Like, for example, us. I mean,
Yeah.
you saw me cutting hair. You saw, I don't know what you saw, but then we started talking from there.
Yeah.
And obviously, then because we was on the same wing, we started talking, and it was just as simple as that haircut.
Yeah.
We started talking, and then as you got to know me, I got to know you. It was a good relationship, and simple thing as going to the gym. Then we started going to the gym together.
Yeah, true.
So it started off, something like that, and then it ends up to what you're in here for and whatnot, due to the circumstances. You always do.
Yeah.
Then after that, it turns into a conversation of, what's your plans? When you get a bit too comfortable, when you get comfortable with what we've done in love, I used to ask for, what's your plans? What do you want to do out there? You haven't got long left. How long have you got left? And then, so on and so forth. It goes from there.
Yeah.
And that's how you just have that bond, innit?
And talk about bond. Why does that bond last when it comes to like getting out and starting your life after prison?
to be fair, what I noticed and what I realized very quickly when we was in prison was that although you claim to be a certain position or you have a certain mind state of where you was,
Mm-hmm.
in that place, you're stripped back of everything. So
Yeah.
you can only have the tools that you're given in terms of life experiences. And a lot of things were then demonstrated over that time period that some people you are like, and some
True.
people you're not like.
True.
And it's a case of when you find your medium and you find your comfortability there, then it kind of shows you how then you can steer and maneuver. And I feel like you learn how to respect people more when there's not that, oh yeah, he comes with this and this is what he's about.
Yeah.
Is finding out about the person, to be fair. And that's the kind of bond that I wasn't seeing with my normal day-to-day at a point because I wasn't making good relationships.
Yeah. I don't, because like when you're in there, we ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it don't even matter. Like, cool, if you got a fully loaded canteen sheet or,
Yep.
you got the guys that are designered off.
Yep.
Even if you're designered off and you got loads of money in your canteen sheet, you still ain't got nothing.
Literally.
Do you know what I'm saying?
You're still sleeping on the same bed.
Still sleeping in the same bed,
it's
you're in
only
the
a
same
state of
size.
mind.
Exactly.
And I feel like as well, even with that stripping you back as well, it's like the only thing you can put bestly is your attitude and your willingness to adapt to your environments.
Yeah.
So if you're in a situation where a negative thing is happening, it doesn't always have to stay negative. And
That's
it
true.
was a point of...
Give me an example of that then.
So, for example, all right, I went into prison due to selling. I used to sell drugs. I used to sell drugs prolifically.
Okay.
My addiction was money.
Okay.
Not that I wanted to inflict anything on people, but I realized that I didn't have an outlet of getting to where I was. And the types of environments I was in wasn't giving me the space to execute certain things.
Cool.
And when I got to the position of being in prison,
Yeah.
I grasped that as a point of where I have to start changing myself and consciously changing to better my surroundings if I want to. And one thing it actually taught me was you don't need as much money as you think you need in this world, bro.
That's true.
Like, you just need a good, clear line of how you want to maneuver, and by your friends and your acquaintances, hopefully you can manage that and build upon that, and then it brings you up.
Mm.
And I feel like another thing as well, I never exercised patience before.
Prison teaches you patience, right?
Yeah.
Prison will teach you
Definitely.
how to ask for something, and the first thing is no. So how do we steer the no's into yeses?
Yeah.
And then that's where things start changing. And that's when your mind state starts changing. And if you pay attention to how you ask for something or you address something,
How you articulate
Yeah.
yourself, innit?
it's how you're going to receive what you need to receive.
I saw your eyes light up when you said teaches you patience. Were you impatient before, Ron?
I was very impatient. I mean, you know me. I'm very impatient. Very impatient. I
gets like
can't. Even from time to time when I get a little impatient, I turn back and I was like, you know what, settle back. You know, as you grow as a person as well, and some people you have around you, I mean, you learn to have that patience. You know, and then you stop and go back for a second, and then you think to yourself, you know what, let me step back a little.
But it's because the relationships allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
So, and having said that, how that transpires on the outside for me, for example, you know, when you could call a man and like, bruv, really want to go and do a lick.
Yeah.
My pockets are hurting.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, bruv, we could go and do a mad thing.
Right. No.
But no, yeah.
Yeah, literally.
But then it's like that reminder that, bro, listen, remember where we come from.
Literally.
Remember all the hard work that we've put in to get to where we are now. Do you ever have those moments? Has anyone ever reached out to you like, bruv, listen, like, I could do a madness. And then you had to like support them. Have that ever happened for you guys?
To be fair, a couple times
Okay.
over the course of the years. Even myself, I am backslided from the point of where I left you in High Point. And it was a case of I walked into a lockdown
When you got out?
when I got out of prison.
Cool, wait, before we get into that, because I wanted to touch on that, but let's just go small steps backwards. small steps backwards, yeah? No,
But
because...
even before that, actually, to be fair,
Go on.
I think when you are a certain way about how you want to present yourself,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it can be seen as, what's the word I'm looking for?
What are you looking for, brother?
It could be seen as you have an agenda.
What do you mean, though?
So, for example, when I came out of prison,
Mhm.
and because I used to be in the roads doing certain things,
Yeah.
when I came out, people assumed that that's what I was still
okay.
like.
I hear you.
And if he's been like this for this many years and this way inclined,
Why is he
how long is it going to take for him to, go back
to that same
his
stuff?
normal stuff?
Cool. So then, before getting out, what do you remember about what state of mind and what was your mentality at or where was it at before you were getting out? Do you remember?
I remember mine very clearly. And to be fair, I haven't even spoke to a lot of people about this in my own personal life. But what prison showed me was that it's not okay to be alone. As in, you need to be able to have somebody that you can confide in. Not necessarily rely on, but confide in with things. And you need to be able to ask people for help that are going to put you in positions that can help you. But with my arrogance and my own pride, I never knew how to ask somebody for assistance with what I want to do.
So where was your mind at when you were getting released?
So when I got released,
where were your plans?
Was the first thing that I thought about was I need to start making friends that are beneficial to my uplifting.
Okay.
And I didn't know how at that point there to kind of who was right for me.
What do you mean?
So because of the nature of how I used to be, I felt like at that point there, everybody that already knew me in that state would pacify anything and how I maneuvered because they know who I am. As in, I had never asked anybody for constructive feedback before.
Okay.
As to what my personality actually was towards them. It was very self-centered. As in, I'm going through my situations. I'm not worrying about anyone else.
Okay.
So I didn't have consideration for other people. But then with you not having consideration for other people, people don't know how to best help and advise you. So it doesn't hinder you in other aspects. And I found that I didn't know how to ask for the help, but I wanted it. And I wanted it from people necessarily that I wasn't communicating the best with. So then that imploded me into myself at a point. Then I reassessed, no, it has to be my communication with people. And I have to learn how to speak to the people that's around me, because they will show me how then to transfer it to someone else.
But when we were together, you seemed cool. You was open. We used to talk. Like,
Yeah, we was open and used to talk.
I didn't think you were.
But in terms of my family dynamics at that point there, I would say I had a very wayward environment. I would say my upbringing was very different to the lifestyle I was leading at that point.
I hear you. Two different worlds.
Two different worlds completely. And it went past the norm of, oh, he's just doing this as a phase. No, this is his lifestyle. So with those energies, it wasn't entertained.
So then what is your mentality before release then? Having said that.
So my mentality at the time before release was a case of, I didn't even know how to go and have accountability to my people to kind of amend certain situations. I had to learn. And it even took me a while to kind of put myself in a calming way, so at least you could open up and tell me how you actually honestly feel.
So you had to change your temperament.
About how this impacted you. And a lot of things kind of within that time, it was now an opportunity to mend certain traumas I had.
Okay.
And when I was in prison, I was going through a lot of mental health issues, I would say. And I didn't...
You did all right though, because I wouldn't have thought so.
I don't think you can tell. I mean...
You would know, because I feel like, you see, even with mental health and how it is, it doesn't present to everybody in the same form.
Yeah.
True.
And even with how I was thinking at the time, I didn't assess it as I was needing help or wanting something that I couldn't attain or that I couldn't understand. So I just held it in.
Okay.
And that is another, what I would say, a clear line due to the nature of my lifestyle. So, I could smile with people, but I wasn't happy.
True. That happened. But I think that's what we all do in there.
Yeah.
I feel like there's times when, you know, I remember times we used to talk around and used to be like, bruv, we might as well laugh, because it's better to laugh than cry, right?
Cry, yeah.
And that's the truth.
For me, it's like when I sit down, I just think to myself, there's no point crying. Where's it going to get you? Or there's no point having... I'm a strong believer in hope don't get you nowhere. You either move or you don't. You know, it's as simple as that. You know, it's either you go to the gym and get those gains, or you don't. You're not going to get it. Going half-heartedly ain't going to do nothing. Talking about, you know, like what Nigel was saying, and you're saying, like, you know what, I didn't see that in you. I mean, you probably didn't see it in me until I told you. But, you know, certain things we don't... I feel like, you know, with my family circumstances, I felt like, you know, it's a constant thought that, you know, I got to be there. I got to be there for them, you know. I don't want to be the man that they've seen, the man that came inside. I want to go out there being a different man with a different mindset.
Completely.
So my mindset was, you know, I want to be there for my mum and dad. I need to make something of myself. And so we used to talk about, you know, what do you want to do and stuff like that. I mean, maybe that probably pushed you, or, you know, things that you've told me that pushed me towards to work with one another and make things happen. And ultimately, I just thought, you know, like, you know, I think money-wise, you know, what I just said, I can relate, you know, and for me, it was whatever God gives me, because I ended up having a stronger bond with God and myself And I thought, because I never used to spend time with myself like that. I was used to be busy around people. And when I'm making that kind of
Literally.
money or you're driving that kind of car, you attract the wrong
Literally.
people.
Yeah.
You know, so when you have that time for yourself, you realize you take a step back and you start thinking, okay. So for me, coming out was you cut those people out now before you leave. So when you take that step, you're on your own the way you are here.
Okay.
Literally.
Yeah. And you're gonna go there and you're gonna do it right by the people that deserve it. And just let go of.
And you know, when you're saying that now, it's taking me back to a moment when I think it was about a month before you were getting out.
Yeah.
And I remember asking you, no. Let me go back. It was a time when it was coming up to Eid.
Yep.
And I remember you said, yeah, I'm going on home leave for Eid.
Yeah.
And obviously I was thinking in my head, bro, that's quite actually really nice that being in the DCAT, you can do those things and go home for Eid. What did being in the DCAT do for your sentence and do for your release as well?
It helped me, but basically go back to my family and fix those relationships and those broken bonds. You know, going outside. Sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I sat down and I thought, you know what, that person's not there for me, or this person's not there for me. But the real story is the fact that I put myself in here. They don't have to be there for me, you know. They're busy. Outside here, it's not easy.
It's not easy now.
And no one knows that better than us, because we come out from hell and we got nothing, you know. So for us to, you know, for the come up working. So when I was coming home for that Eid you was talking about, when I came home and I saw that smile on my mom's face, just that, you know, it's not about money. That's what that told me coming out. It wasn't about money. It was about the happiness my family had.
Yeah.
The day I remember my first home leave, when I went there, I remember my brother ran from work and come to see me. I remember, you know, my mom, my dad, you know, it was, and I see my nieces and nephew, and I was like, wow, man, you know, life. It's not about money. I was chasing money, but how much time did I spend with these people? These people are like, you know, look at their faces, look at the way they lit up. So I thought, you know what, coming out, I thought, you know what, they deserve my time. And all the hard work that I want to be doing now, you know, they have to be involved in it. Because before, back in the days when we used to make money, what do? Go out with friends and floss.
So talk about friends. Did you have to, so you said that you had to cut those people off, but you know those friends from the old lifestyle. How much of a difficulty or an ease was it for you to cut them off and to leave that kind of lifestyle behind?
I had no difficulty. I told them straight up.
To be fair, mine was very hard.
Why? Why was it hard though?
Initially, it was hard because I didn't see them at that point as a block to my progression. So because of the comfortability of I had my friends, so my friends should have me in turn. When I came out, I had the mentality of I need everything back from whence it was.
I know what you mean.
And it's just simple like that. And I had a mentality and a complex at that time where I needed to catch up to myself. But what it was a complex of the fear of missing out. So
this, for me, what you're saying right now is the reason why I think I ended up going back to prison again.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I felt like after my first sentence, so the first sentence I went in was 17 to 21, yeah?
Yeah.
And I came out still with the wrong mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah? And I came out to seeing people that I was doing better than before. Correct. And now they're doing excellent.
Lengths.
And I'm like, I need to
catch
up.
But
that then allows you to go into a further spiral.
Yeah.
Because if you thought you was in it, then
now
you're getting really in it.
You're really in it. And I even with me, I think at the point of when I was trying to get away from that type of lifestyle and them sort of natures was at one of my most prolific times.
Okay.
And I was really active.
Okay.
Doing whatever I was doing.
Yeah.
And it was like, you want good things, but you're mixing bad with good things.
Yeah.
and you're mixing it so well that they can't. Yeah, it's like
double lifestyle.
yeah,
innit?
it's a double standard.
Did you end up? Sorry to cut you, bro.
Yeah.
But did you end up getting, like I said, I got recalled because I was trying to chase that lifestyle
Yeah.
again. Yeah. Did you end up? Did you get recalled?
I got recalled. And this is like, and I always say it is the best day of my life.
What, getting recalled?
When I got recalled, because, and why I say it's the best day of my life, it was the point of when I said, this is actually over. Like, I don't need to be doing these things no more. There was no thrill in what I was doing, regardless of the money and the circumstances I was in.
Mm-hmm.
There was no thrill to it. I'd had my experience of growing up. Why am I back in this situation now? And it drew a line that patience as well. You really have to stress patience, because not every journey comes in a straight line. And the opportunities you could get just by being present to somewhere will take you further than you being away and people waiting for you to
true.
land.
Yeah, true.
And that was one thing as well. Like, I really had to grow up within myself and know that ultimately, if you want to get somewhere, you have to take ownership of yourself.
How many of the relationships that you made in prison contributed to that mindset there? Contributed to that way of thinking?
I would say in my whole prison experience, I took away 5 people that really kind of influenced me to do better.
Mm-hmm.
And not even by having conversations with me, but by their actions.
Leading by example.
Leading by examples. And if I didn't have, let's say, the willingness to believe that this is eventually where I want to be, and somehow, some way, it's going to happen.
Mm.
And I feel like religion as well is a big key in that. When you're grounded in a religion and you have that space to know yourself and have that quiet time with yourself, it builds more humility.
Yeah.
And it shows you that not everybody's of your same mind state. And that's one thing as well I had to register very fast. That although I've got a lot of things going on in my lifestyle, everybody that's around me has a lot of things going on in their lifestyle. So I can't bombard their situation with my situation, because that's not how we're trying to build each other. So in order for you to be well
Mm-hmm.
within your environment, you have to keep doing better.
Ron, you know when, because you hit the nail on the head there, Nige, seeing that example. So Ron, you got out like December, right?
Yeah, December, yeah.
And then I got out the February.
February, yeah.
And I got out in the leap year, actually. Weird. So I
What was
can't
it,
even...
2018?
No,
2019?
2020.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
2020 leap year, February, innit? But Ron, you was out for a couple months before. And when we like reconnected, when I got out, your work rate was immense.
Yeah.
Like immense, bro.
Yeah.
To the point where that rubs off.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I
So
could believe it.
I wanted to ask you, Ron, what made you so driven? And what made you like so hardworking? That's just my opinion, by the way. I'm not trying to gas you up. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So,
like you said, I mean, I looked at everyone. Obviously, you know, like people that you know, how far they've gone, and you look at yourself. It was the wrong way of for me to see it that way. I was only watching them because with certain people, you know, you look at the roads, and then you look at the people who legitly have achieved things, and you think it's not impossible. And it's not a race. Firstly, you know, everyone have their own journey, like Nigel was saying.
Yeah.
Everyone have their own journey, and you can't dictate yours by looking at someone else's. You know, your journey is your journey. You have to accept that. And once you accept it, for me, what drove me to work that hard was And I feel like I'm still not there yet. I feel like I still got a long way. It's my family. You want to settle down. You want to have kids. And you have broken relationships that you want to fix.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it, man. That's what.
So like you see, for the relationships that you're trying to fix and the way that you're driven, how does the two work together? How does
It works
how
because
does being
you look
driven?
you look at your mom and you think, what, I want to achieve something. Like when I look at my mom, she's always wanted a big house, so and she deserves it. Why not? You know what I mean? So she's if there was anyone there for me, my mom was there.
Yeah.
Big
up
right
all the
or wrong,
mums.
you're her son.
Big up auntie though.
Big up the mums.
Big up all the mums though
Come on.
that stick by us bad boys.
You see, I can't lie to you, yeah? Like, with everything I hold dear to me, the most important thing was giving my mum a hug. I hadn't done that in 10 years. Imagine that. Like, just embracing. Like, that was a big thing for me. Like, literally. And it was a case of, I need to show this lady that it's not like this anymore. And consistently go with it. And yeah, and that kind of put me in a place where, okay, now I'm going to start doing better. And all right, I need help. But I'm not going to stop not trying to better myself here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the first thing that you wanted to do when you got out?
Mom's food. Mom's food, boy. Look, I put on, you know me, I eat.
Yeah.
I'll never to eat like this, bro. I eat because I can't stop myself anymore.
Straight, man.
But it's just that blessing of, like she's still there and she's this old now and she's still feeding a 29-year-old.
Yeah.
But when she sees me cook now at home, she gets it. My mom's a clean freak. She goes off her head but when she sees me as a different person now. A person who does his own, clothes, who washes his own clothes, who does his own bed, who cleans his own room. These things weren't there before, and when she sees that
learned from prison.
Yeah, everything, like you learn to be independent. You learn to do things. The right, because it's not easy. Just having that time and going back to the washing machine and you have to dry it. Things, it's not easy.
Taking ownership of everything.
Yeah, exactly, ownership. Yeah.
Yeah, if you really want to excel in this world, everything you say you must do.
Yeah. Talking about everything you say you must do, you've got you got your media platform, right?
Yeah. So
how did you? Talk us through that.
Nah, do you know what's mad? Is a blessing in a wild journey, because
how many subscribers you got?
Well, we're on 20k subscribers right now on Mask On, thank God.
Mm-hmm. What does Mask On do? What is Mask On Media?
So Mask On, when initially was designed, the concept was for up and coming drill artists.
Okay.
To showcase their music. But it expanded into singers, people that have different types of genres we was accepting.
Like what?
So, for example, we have a series where we have a man that sings and raps, but in old school garage tempos.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay, that's different, isn't it?
It's a bit of everything. Is a mixed clash of people. Like we have artists on there, which was doing rapping on rock style beats.
Okay.
And he called it grok rap.
Okay, grok.
And this is something that if, we didn't have the spaces to create, we wouldn't have these things. And that was my journey when I came out in 2019. And I started promoting that, I started pushing that. The vision behind that was to get it to a place where we could do showcase, open mic events, to now bring in people actually have real live contacts, real, build your fan base. Because that's what will support you in your artistry, in anything else. And obviously, by the grace as well, God shut it down with the lockdown, because it was a case of, if I had done it at that point there, I don't think I was 100% ready. in terms of I didn't have the longevity of being a normal 9-to-5 person.
Okay.
And that's another thing as well.
Do you think that's a prison thing though? Because like not being a 9-to-5, like
I wouldn't say it's a prison thing. I feel like what happened was that I decided that I'm not gonna go to a 9-to-5 type of workplace.
Yeah, but what I mean is, what I'm trying to say, no, but what I mean is like for like us, Ron, yeah, you know, like we were like, nah, we can't do the whole 9-to-5. Like we had to be like self-sufficient to a certain extent. So like with what you do now, Ron, talk us about how, you know, CTC and what you do kind of built.
So obviously we do normal maintenance stuff, broken sinks and all that comes through the estate agents. We also get private clients. Recently we've obviously just done the shop in Uxbridge. Bad Boy Pizza is called. So that was a big thing. You know, just doing one job.
What's up, man?
From just doing that one job, and all other people came to see it, but I was there making sure every day, leaving my house from 6 a.m. and coming home like 8-9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just long hours, man. I had to put in long hours.
And do you think that this would have been possible, like for both of you guys, for where you are now? Do you think that would have been possible if you didn't have a different support group, a different like friendship circle?
Definitely.
That incorporated like your friends from prison?
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like what's interesting about this whole journey and how it even entangles together was that when I was in prison, it showed me that I didn't have good relationships with the people that was around me.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I came out of prison, it showed me that I needed to now learn how to actually utilize people around me and how best to make sure that everything that we're doing is 100% on board.
Yeah. 100% on board, what do you mean?
On board as in nothing that makes me go back to the way I was, or nothing that would allow me to be in those sort of environments to feel like it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
And at the point of when I was making Mask On, and we was pushing that pilot, I was really still doing everything that was of my old self, and it walked me into something that I wouldn't say I would promote to people.
Yeah.
So why should I be a part of it? And then that was the thought process that actually showed me, and I said, no. Now I do digital creating.
Yeah.
And I work with professionals, up and coming businesses, people that are trying to actually make a contribution to the society that we've broken and mended.
Yeah.
And this is where the strong point of people that basically have come from prison or places like that have an understanding of, okay, we was doing wrong, but now we need to fix this. So my little generations behind me don't go through this situation. And
obviously we're stronger if we've got that network.
Exactly that.
So like now we've got our own network in terms of we can say to people that come out of prison or that we know in jail, you need a job, we've got work there.
Simple.
Do you know what I'm saying? You're doing digital creation. So you can be like, look, I could support you guys, you know, boost your social media.
Literally.
And I feel like those relationships that we've created and built are the perfect support system. They're the perfect business network. They're the perfect social network to keep us going in the right directions.
Literally.
To keep us on the track of repairing some of the damage that we may have caused.
Yeah.
You know?
Because another thing as well, I wouldn't say doing wrong is just for wrong causes. You have to do things that will mend the wrongs as well.
Okay.
Like at a point where I would say I needed help and I didn't know how to best articulate the help, I was doing wrong. Now I'm in a position where I know how to articulate myself. I need to give back.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of journey that is kind of pushed me and now steered me into what I'm doing now.
No, I appreciate that, man. I just feel like just to make it, because you know a lot of people be like, even now, like they're like, why like most of your friends are man from prison. Like I'm like, yeah, because we get it. We understand where we've been.
Yeah.
We understand where we're trying to go.
Yeah.
And we know that we can't afford to go back into that lifestyle. Do you know what I'm saying? So
definitely not.
I just want to say thank you guys for coming on today.
No, thank you for having us.
Pleasure, man.
Like and sharing like what you shared, because like I don't think, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think I would even be host of Life After Prison if I didn't have like supportive, you know, friendships.
This is
like yourselves, you know what I'm saying?
Like, you see, when I'm looking at you here,
Yeah.
like, it's amazing to me. Like, I don't even think you get how proud I am of.
Don't do that.
Nah, come on,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
Yo, man's guy,
Don't
bro.
do that, bro.
Nah, I'm proud of you
Come
because
a long way.
it's
Work
a
hard.
case of we all have our own choices in life,
True.
and we all have our own angles and facets to deal with. And as long as I've known you, you've assessed that, okay, I was this way inclined and I could be that way inclined, but that's not how we're living.
True.
And you've kept to that line.
I've tried anyway.
Well, that's it.
But we do need support along the way,
and
don't
we do need support.
So talking about support, were there any like organizations that supported you guys like when you first came out of prison, like to support you guys with, you know, any kind of help that you need?
I've had Maximus supporting me in terms of because I was obviously
Who were they again? Say that again.
Maximus.
Okay.
Yeah. So they help me they fund your needs for employment. So in terms of like that, I needed a laptop. They gave me a laptop. I needed the correct PPE to work for construction sites that I've worked in.
Yeah.
You know, they put me through agencies.
Okay.
To get into employment, because obviously when I first come, you know, there wasn't always work there, so you know you'd have to get some sort of work. So
Maximus,
my background, Maximus.
Big up Maximus. And for you, Nige?
Me, to be fair, I've been working with a couple agencies, but the main agency I've been working with at the moment is St. Giles Trust. St. Giles Trust helped me to get my passport back.
Okay.
That
they do
expired after 10 years. I didn't have identification to even work
at
the point. They also then helped me to set up certain business plans and gave me funding for things that I needed to then put myself in that position.
Okay, big up the St. Giles Trust.
Yeah, man. St. Giles done a lot for me.
For me, there's an organisation called Social Arc. Social Arc, CIO, they're like a charitable organisation that support young people from East London to build social enterprises that benefit their communities.
Yeah.
And they really supported me to start X Conversation and all the other things that I do. They really champion where you want to go, not where you've been. So big up Social Arc. And all of those organizations will be in our show notes so you can check them out. Also, I wanted to, point you in the direction of our other show, Getting Out, where we give, advice, information and guidance, but specifically check out the confidence episode because there's a segment in there where we mention how, relationships and friendships can help, keep you on that path of life after prison and how to rebuild and make new friendships as well. So check that out. As we do on Life After Prison, we love for you to interact with us. And yesterday we put out a message on our socials. We asked you if you are still friends with anyone that you met in prison and why the relationships have lasted through the gate. And someone on Twitter said, I made the best friends, the kindest, most reliable people of my life. I met them in prison and we've maintained them in life at home, which is one of the joys that have come from my prison experience. So big up yourself on Twitter. Thank you for sending that response in. On Instagram, someone said, and this is one that's quite nice, they go, my best friend in the world was made in prison. If you can laugh like we did in there, friendship is unbreakable. I like.
That's a real thing.
That's true,
Like,
isn't it?
even to speak on it, yeah, was I see here like literally before we was cracking mad jokes.
Mad jokes, isn't it?
Like, and that's one thing, like the banter is surreal. Like,
Yeah.
you can only be yourself. So let's be happy with our time.
I like. You're already in a place that's a bit miserable, so
You know what I'm
might as well
saying?
laugh, right?
Yeah, that crying ain't gonna get you anyway, is it? So I might as well laugh it off.
Like, literally.
Innit? So if you guys want to be in touch, you can do this by sending a DM to us on Instagram and Twitter at After Prison Pod. Or if you prefer, you can write to us at Life After Prison, National Prison Radio, HMP Brixton, London, SW2 5XF. Or if you prefer, you can send an email to podcasts@prison.radio. Or you could check out our website, lifeafterprisonpod.com, where you can actually send in a voice note and have a look at more information and organizations that can support you. So check them out. Thank you for listening. Thank you to Nigel.
Oh,
Thanks, Ron.
come on, thank you
Thanks for
Prison Radio
coming in.
having us.
It's been great, bro.
Do me a favor,
man.
do us a big favor and ask the people to like, share and subscribe for us.
Please like, share, and subscribe, man. Please.
Yeah, people, we need to support the cause.
It's necessary.
Innit?
No, it's very necessary.
And we'll see you next time. Take care.